Hi, I'm Ryann Funk, the communication strategist for this project. The client today is Dream Dinners, specifically the franchise out of Powell, Ohio. Founded in 2002, Dream Dinners streamlines the process of taking raw, fresh ingredients and creating healthy, freeze-ahead meals that are tasty and easy to make at home. This project aims to create a series of persuasive messages to increase the number of customers to the Powell franchise. I've prepared 3 different persuasive message strategies targeted towards 3 distinct target audiences. The target for the first message is families. I've chosen this audience because Dream Dinners states that they are all about bringing families together around the dinner table to enjoy a meal and, more importantly, each other's company. The medium I've chosen are physical mailers and/or flyers. I believe either of these mediums would be ideal for appealing to families because they offer a slightly different experience in receiving the message. Some potential copy options include the following. And Dream Dinners prides itself on the mission to make gathering around the family table a cornerstone of daily life and to encourage families to focus on who's around the dinner table instead of what's on it. With the message example, Dream Dinners, less time in the kitchen, more time at the table, I was thinking a lot about rational appeals and specifically social proof. When it comes to the stereotypical nuclear family, a parental figure is expected to work all day in the kitchen to have a hot, fresh meal on the table for their family to enjoy. With this messaging, we're referencing the idea that as a rule, we make fewer mistakes by acting in accord with social evidence than by acting contrary to it. By putting out this message, we imply that it is okay to not spend countless hours in the kitchen preparing a family meal when you could be utilizing the Dream Dinner service to use those hours to spend quality time with the people you love. Our next target audience is single working individuals in the area, specifically those that fall into the mid-20s to early 30s age range. Although the original idea of the company caters to busy families, opening up to attract a younger demographic, this message could create a whole new wave of potential lifelong customers. TikTok was the most obvious medium for this target audience. Of all the available social media platforms out there, TikTok is by far the most popular, in my opinion, has the most opportunity for not only this specific location, but the business as a whole. As far as content and messaging go on TikTok, you really have the world at your fingertips and you can go as far as your creative mind will take you. Since the monthly menus are constantly changing and rotating, a content idea could be to document the step-by-step process of prepping, assembling, and cooking the meals as a sort of quick 1-minute how-to guide that can easily live on TikTok. By showing this process of the meal, what's in it, how it's being prepared, and what it's supposed to look like at the end, the likelihood of catching someone's attention increases. Focusing the messaging for this group on how easy this service is going to make their day-to-day lives, you're giving them what they're looking for, a sense of relief of one less thing they need to worry about. And with this message appeal, I was thinking a lot about online persuasion, more specifically perceived interactivity. A higher level of perceived interactivity between the message source and receiver is another important feature of online communication. And a big part of perceived interactivity is the directionality of the communication between the source and the receiver, because the distinction between a one-way or a two-way communication can affect how the consumer takes in the ad. And by using TikTok, an inherently interactive and collaborative platform, you open up the communication channels to allow for features such as stitches, duets, video comment replies, and so much more, adding to the two-way communication experience for the consumer. The final target audience is actually the first one I thought of, which is college students. Dream Dinners reminds me of the meal delivery services that some of my friends would use while we were in college, because it's not only easier to make in a pinch, but it also often ends up being cheaper than buying groceries every week. And specifically, I would target students at the Ohio State University for this specific Powell franchise. Ohio State is one of the top public universities in the country, and the main campus in Columbus is within a 15-minute drive of Powell. For the medium, I would utilize both print and digital advertising. Specifically, I would suggest that if Dream Dinners is not able to partner directly with the university at large, they could at least start by partnering with the university's student newspaper, The Lantern, either via advertising or sponsored content. Some potential copy options include the following. When appealing to college students, it needs to be quick, attention-catching, and relevant to their lives. College students are typically low on time and motivation and after being in class all day, so if they can first relate to the message about dream dinners, they might be more apt to check it out and see how it could benefit them. When referring to the components of emotions and emotional appeals, it's not the appeal that is persuasive, but rather the audience's interpretation of the appeal. If our target audience interprets the message appeal as this company is trying to sell me something that I don't want to pay for, then the message has lost all persuasive appeal and any potential emotional connection that might have been there. But by messaging in a way that encourages the audience to interpret the message as this could be something that would be of benefit to me, then you've successfully moved one step closer to potentially bringing in a new customer that would be brought in by the practicality and the relevance to their lives that ultimately persuaded them. Overall, these messages were created with a wide range of potential customers to communicate to in mind. By diversifying the target audiences beyond what the original foundation of the company is, the potential for increased customers at the Powell Dream Dinners location would contribute to long-time success and lifetime customers of the business.